Hi, my name is Stephen Chung. Welcome to Chung's Corner. In this corner, I'm going to talk about issues or things that matter to us or even have a huge impact in everything we do. Today, the topic is freedom. What is freedom? Especially during this day when COVID-19 has affected all of us. And each and every government has some kind of restriction or law that prevent us from spreading the virus freely. And among them, two laws are quite common. Number one, unless there is a posting or pressing reason, you should not go out to shop unless you want to buy some grocery, some medication, or some other urgent task that you need to do. And if you do go out, especially you are going to mix with some other people and in a closed room, you need to wear a mask. These two rules or two laws are based on very strong science facts, and it means to protect you and me from getting the virus or from spreading the virus. Yet, not many people would observe these laws. They cite that it is their personal freedom to be able to go out freely to do what they want to, like to have parties or to dine in a restaurant close inside, or when they go out to shop, they refuse to wear a mask. They cite it as the freedom guaranteed by the Constitution. So we have these two sides. On one side, the government wants you to stay home, don't go out freely. And on the other side, you cite as your right under the Constitution, go out freely. So who is right, who is wrong? The government or you? Before I end this posting, I'm going to give you a 100% answer, definite answer, whether or not you should or should not, whether it is right for you to do it or whether it's wrong to do it. So, we are going to talk about freedom today. Before I give you my personal view, I have already done some research and get some definition from Googling the word freedom definition. Okay, so I have found 3 different sources that are deemed trustworthy to me. The first one is from the Cambridge Dictionary. According to the dictionary, freedom is the condition or right of being able or allowed to do, say, think, etc., whatever you want to, without being controlled or limited. Several keywords. The right of being able or allowed to do, say, whatever you want to, without being controlled or limited. The second one, according to Wikipedia, freedom generally is having the ability to act or change without constraint. And the last one, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, freedom is the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. So, these 3 definitions from 3 different sources actually means similar thing, that you can do whatever you want freely without being constrained. And in that case, those guys are right. So, what is freedom? According to my understanding, there is no such a thing as freedom. Freedom is a myth. Freedom, the word itself, is an oxymoron, meaning it has contradicting meaning, or the word will lead to misunderstanding or contradicting concept. Freedom is not free. Freedom has 3 boundaries. Number 1 boundary is a physical boundary. We live on planet Earth, and our Earth has gravity. And gravity will keep us from running so fast, or how high we can jump, or how far down we can jump down without getting hurt. I live on the 7th floor, and God forbid, one day I need to jump from the balcony down to the ground. Most likely I will be hurt, and I would be extremely lucky just to get crippled. So freedom is not free. First one is a physical boundary. Besides gravity, I stay in this room, which has a ceiling, a floor, 4 walls, and a door. Okay, if someone should shut the door, and even worse, he tie me up before he shut the door and lock it up, then I will lose lots of freedom, physical freedom. So the first one is a physical boundary that prevents us from getting really free. Does it make sense? The second one is the financial boundary. Financial boundary is the amount of money you have in your bank at your free disposal. Say if you are a guy who do labor, unskilled labor to earn your living, and you happen to have a wife and 3 kids. The oldest one is 12 and the younger one is 6. Then, my friends, you have got not much freedom. Okay? Every hour, every of your waking hour, you'll be busy trying to add means, trying to make ends meet. Correct? So, physical boundary, financial boundary are the 2 boundaries that keep us from truly free, doing whatever you want. The third one is a moral boundary. Why we need a moral boundary? Number 1 is we are social animals. If we are solitary animals like a cheetah, we don't need any morality. So we need, as human, we need to interact with one another, want to talk to the other, or want to help one another, or we need to trade with each other. So as a social animal, we interact a lot, and therefore we need some kind of moral guideline to guide us how we should do things and what we should not do. Besides, we are social animals, there's another reason that we need moral code or certain moral restraint. The reason is that we are selfish by nature. Okay, I'm going to talk about this topic in a future posting. But now, because we are selfish, we have a natural tendency to harm others for our own gains. Okay, that's why we need moral code. And every country has their own moral code, but there are a number of things that we share in common, whether on you live in Saudi Arabia, you live in Hong Kong, China, Britain, America, Canada, doesn't matter. We all have some basic moral boundaries or moral code or code of ethics. So the first one is stealing is wrong, morally wrong. Say if you steal someone's money or somebody's property or someone's wife, at the time you do it, at the moment you do it, you have already crossed that moral boundary and you have broken the boundary. Whether or not you'll be punished or you will lose some freedom depends on where you live. Say in some Muslim country, most likely you are going to get killed. Or in Canada or America or in Europe, I think you probably can get away freely without any legal consequence. That doesn't mean you can't do it, or at least you should not do it because you are hurting someone. Okay, so stealing is immoral. The second one is if you sexually assault a woman. Say you find a girl very attractive and you lose your self-control and you touch her private part without her consent. At the moment you have done it, you have already crossed that moral boundary. Whether or not you'll be caught and punished depends who you are. If you're rich and famous, like someone in America, then you can get away without any consequence. There's somebody like that. But for morality, for your own character, you should not do it. Okay? So it brings us back to the first question we asked before we start this discussion. Is it your right to go out freely during this pandemic time, to have party, to dine, or to do unnecessary shopping just to browse around, and even worse, without wearing mask? According to this model that you are not totally free, you are subject to 3 boundaries, and the moment you have done it, you have already crossed the moral boundary. And a country, a government has the right to prosecute you. So don't do it, okay? For you to protect yourself and also to protect others. So in my next posting, I'm going to use a graph to relay the 3 boundaries so that you can see how much freedom you would have. Yes, you can actually visualize the amount of freedom based on your physical condition, based on your financial capability, and also based on the moral view of the country you live in. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, the third one, the last thing before I go is that obviously you know that English is not my mother tongue. And I'm sure it has been a torture just listening, trying to understand what I'm trying to say or understand the meaning of this discussion. Well, if you are interested in freedom and want to know more about the topic, I would suggest you read my book, published in 2017, called The Quest of an Unlikely Fixer. You can get the book from Amazon, definitely. I don't think you can get it in any bookstore, okay? So the last thing is, most of the things in this presentation are original, meaning it could be wrong, far off. If you spot something that is wrong with my argument or reasoning, please let me know so that I can correct myself, so that I will start spreading the fake knowledge. Okay? So that's it for today. Thank you for viewing, and also see you next time, hopefully. And take care of yourself, and above all, love yourself. Thank you. Bye-bye.